What is going on, guys? This is Michael Williams from Cartoon Universe, and today I want to discuss the new possibility of a Kingdom Hearts television show. I am joined by AwestruckVox of The Roundtable.
Hey guys.
So, before getting into any of the details and information, what are your initial thoughts just hearing about a Kingdom Hearts animated show?
It's something I've always wanted and always felt like should have happened, especially since they had the manga. I was always kind of anticipating the day where they were announcing a Kingdom Hearts anime, but this is as close as we're probably going to get for a while, so I'm really excited at the prospect of it.
Yeah, at first I was like pretty skeptical because I feel like video game adaptations usually don't go over too well, no matter what the medium. And I feel like Kingdom Hearts is like really special to me, as I'm sure it is to you. Been following the series since the beginning, and the story is so complex and all over the place that like I feel like it's kind of scary hearing that they're going to try to adapt it. Because you don't know what they can do. But the person who's pitching this, Seth Kearsley, actually had an interview with KH13, which is a well-known Kingdom Hearts site. And basically, he kind of quelled my fears a little bit. He seems like he has the right intentions and the right idea. If you don't know who Seth Kearsley is, he directed a show called Mummies Alive back in the 90s. I've actually never heard of it. He also directed a Dilbert TV series. He directed 8 Crazy Nights. He did some Family Guy stuff, some Looney Tunes stuff for the reboot. So he's definitely got some work out there. And if you guys aren't familiar, he actually pitched a Kingdom Hearts show years ago, like when I think it was only just Kingdom Hearts 1, maybe Chain of Memories, if that. And he pitched this show because Disney was trying to actually do a Kingdom Hearts show. And he got the script and apparently didn't like it. And he tried to pitch his own show and he played the game and he just fell in love with the game. So yeah, I'm actually going to kind of go through the timeline here. So he basically tweeted out that he was going to try to do it again and that he was exchanging emails with Disney. And he said that if he were to do it, it would be an alternate timeline. And someone asked if there was a possibility of a new character. He didn't actually answer that. He just said it would be a different timeline. So I'm guessing this would just be sort of a retelling of Kingdom Hearts 1, sort of, but with changes.
Mm-hmm.
And he said the style would be anime, which is an awesome sign already. Because if you see I'll have the pictures of the original pitch right now. It doesn't match the Kingdom Hearts style at all. These are just kind of rough drawings.
It really looked like they just redrew Sora in like Disney style, but it did not translate well at all.
Yeah. And he said he wasn't a fan of the drawings either, so he basically would just make sure that the artist doing it would be anime. And he said the story would be as true to anime as possible at Disney. So what comes to mind to me is like Avatar, I guess, basically a Western anime, so to speak. And he said he loves anime for all the complex emotional issues that it brings, which is a good sign. His favorite animes are Cowboy Bebop, Fooly Cooly, Samurai Champloo, Death Note. So that's a good sign. He's got good taste in anime at the very least. And he thought he'd have to leave animation to tell the stories he wanted to, which I can kind of relate to in a way, because a lot of the stories that I have in mind, I feel like aren't, there's not a big market for them right now in Western animation. I feel like I would literally need to move to Japan to do the animated shows I would want to do. So I feel like he has like definitely a good idea of what he wants to do here.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. I think having an anime look actually fits better because when we look at Kingdom Hearts, part of the unique aesthetic of it is all these clashing art styles in one. How you have like the anime art style, like the Disney art style, and then sometimes you have like Pirates of the Caribbean, which I'm not sure how they would do in a cartoon if they would choose to adapt that. But I feel like by having an anime style, it truly captures the essence of what makes Kingdom Hearts special. Right. So I'm glad that he has that in mind, and I hope if it does get greenlit, they follow through with that.
Yeah, and that's the thing, like Kingdom Hearts, even though it's obviously very Disney heavy, that's not really the focus. And it seems like he kind of grasps that because apparently with the original script that he was given, it was just Disney crossover the show with Sora and friends, and like I feel like that completely misses the point of Kingdom Hearts. Kingdom Hearts at its the tone of Kingdom Hearts is not Disney, if that makes sense. Like there's Disney flavorings. But the tone is very Square Enix. So hopefully they keep with that tone if the show does get picked up. And apparently he's talking with a Star Wars Rebels writer and co-executive producer, Henry Gilroy. He tweeted out that they had lunch together and they were kind of talking about stuff. So that's a good sign. Rebels has been very well received. I don't know if you've seen Rebels or not.
I've seen a few episodes. I actually enjoyed what I saw, but I just haven't had time to watch all of it all the way through. But I like all the Star Wars shows, so I'm sure I would love it.
Yeah, for very good things. I haven't had a chance to check it out yet. So yeah, in the interview, I'm just kind of go through like little tidbits that I found interesting. He said he wants to do it for the fans. He said the fans have informed him on what's been going on with the series. He said it's aware that it's been growing a lot. I wonder what extent he understands how complex the story's gotten. And he said he's much better than he was 14 years ago. So like, being seasoned and having experience, that's also a very good sign. And he was asked about implementing the new games like Birth by Sleep, Dream Drop Distance, and stuff like that. And he said if the show does get picked up, he will be immersing himself in the entire universe before anything is written. This is big. This is very important. It's not like you just played Kingdom Hearts 1 and called it a day. Like, I really appreciate when people are adapting things. They take the time to really understand the nitty gritty of everything. So he said he'll be diving into all the games and all of the manga, which I haven't even read the manga.
Oh yeah, I've read most of the manga. I read Kingdom Hearts 1 all the way up to half of 2. And I think I did read the Days manga, but I have not read the Birth by. I think there's a Birth by Sleep like one shot, but I don't think that's an actual manga.
Yeah. Did like was it good? Was it like his quality?
It's weird because it's simultaneously darker yet less violent than the actual video game. Like it has a lot more darker tones. Like when Sora goes to Traverse Town for the first time, he's actually approached by a prostitute who immediately gets her heart like literally ripped out of her chest by a Heartless.
What?
But like for some reason, there's no actual action scenes in the manga. Like at the most, it'll take up like 3 pages worth of action, but like there's no actual like full out fights. But like I said, it is like darker. Yeah, like I said, it's just really weird. Like how it's a lot more risky. But you think it would be full of action scenes or like chapters like full of action, but it's not a battle shonen manga at all. Like, it's so weird. And for the most part, they stay true to the story of the game. They do skip some worlds, or to like mix in like what happens in worlds into one world. But for the most part, I do think it's pretty faithful to the games.
Interesting. Yeah, I had no idea. You would think they would put action in there. Hopefully, like with the show, if the show gets picked up, there's plenty action because we could definitely use some more.
There's actually one kind of an action scene in the Chain of Memories manga with Lark scene since she has electricity.
Right.
Sora, Dano, and Goofy to do the Trinity and I think they actually make it rain. So Lark scene actually like she gets electrocuted and literally explodes to death.
Jesus.
Yeah.
Oh my God. I need to read this manga.
Yeah, I really like it.
God, that's crazy. So do you think like they'll we probably talk about this on the second part, but do you think they'll kind of implement how do you think they'll implement the other games if that happens, or if they will at all?
For years, like I remember like years ago, I think when I was like in middle school, I actually like typed out like a full like plan like animated series for Kingdom Hearts.
Oh, wow.
And basically at least how I would do it like each game is a new season. Like Kingdom Hearts 1 would be 26 episodes, Chain of Memories maybe like 13 episodes.
Right.
Or what they could do is have 2 separate, not really series, but like have like Kingdom Hearts 2 be like their own seasons, but then stuff like Chain of Memories or Days, like all the side games, you could have maybe a series called like Kingdom Hearts Chronicles, kind of like there's like Pokemon Chronicles.
Yeah.
And that can be like shorter seasons while like the main games get like the long seasons. Because honestly, like if you could, like I could see them stressing out like Kingdom Hearts 1 and 2 across like 2 separate 52 episode seasons.
Oh, for
because, sure. I mean, I think 26 is a good length, but like if they wanted to go like a full 52 for each game, they really could.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Like, I don't know, because that's complicated. Because like, I don't think Days would necessarily work. Because like, if you're doing an animated series, you kind of need to, for the most part, keep the focus on the main protagonist, which is Sora. So I feel like doing like a Days series or even a coded season wouldn't really work.
Yeah, it'd be really confusing, but just like Kingdom Hearts 3. And like he says the alternate timeline, so I don't know if he means like the main events of the games would happen, but it has like it's like a different sequence, like different stuff happens, or if he's doing like his own original story. with just like the same characters. So I'm really interested to see like what ideas he has. But I do think if he's adapting the game straight, it should be like each season's a new game, or like Kingdom Hearts 1 is his own season. Then you have like I said, like Kingdom Hearts Chronicles, which is like the other like the side stories. Or even what they can do is kind of like have it be almost episodic, but also like connected, kind of like Samurai Jack.
Interesting. Like
Each episode or like every like 3 episodes is a new world, and then sometimes you just have like a one-off episode on Roxas, a one-off episode set like in the Birth by Sleep timeline, just like really like experimental. That could also work.
Yeah, that'd be super experimental.
It'd be kind of confusing, but at the same time, I think it would have payoff because there's a lot of events in the games that like how like Days takes place during Kingdom Hearts 1 and then Chain of Memories and then its own timeline. So maybe that would work. Yeah. It's just so much to do to like properly adapt it is so much work and thought would have to go into it.
Yeah, I think for Days, what might work for at least part of Days, you could do like an A story and a B story. Since Days for the beginning of Days takes place between the end of Kingdom Hearts 1 and Chain of Memories. So like if you're doing like a Chain of Memory season, you could do like a Days like B story about Roxas and stuff.
I feel like the only issue with that is that since Riku was also in Castle Oblivion, I always imagine like Chain of Memories, like the B story would be Riku.
That's a good point.
Unless you do like A, B, C, but
or like some episodes the B story is Roxas, some episodes the B story is Riku potentially.
Yeah.
For Birth by Sleep, I feel like they could like since things have been retconned recently, like the whole Aqua thing, like they could probably bring Aqua up. Like during like the Kingdom Hearts 1 season, maybe she even shows up. Maybe we even see some of Mickey's adventures or Riku's like stuff as B stories. Which I think would be very interesting. And then like maybe we can get like a 4-part movie-esque like series of episodes that like kind of chronicle the Birth by Sleep saga potentially. So I feel like it would be hard to do an entire series because Birth by Sleep is pretty long. And it would take away from Sora a lot. So I don't know. That's pretty interesting.
I definitely think Birth by Sleep will have to be its own season, but I think it would like for it to be its own season, it would have to be branded something like so. That's why they should have like a series for the main games and then a series for separate games. Because Birth by Sleep, like you could have it be its own season, but then like the kids are gonna be confused and be like, well, where's Sora during all of this?
Yeah.
Like when you play the game, like you kind of almost such as a prequel because it's branded as Kingdom Hearts Birth by Sleep, not like Kingdom Hearts 3 Birth by Sleep or anything. So there's just a lot of ways they could really do this, and I'm actually really excited to see how they are going to do it, assuming it gets greenlit. And I don't see why they wouldn't greenlit it because I feel like Kingdom Hearts is already a recognizable brand, and Disney's at this point where they don't have that many anime series as compared to when they did back then. Like they have Starburst vs. Evil, Marvel Murphy's Law, the upcoming DuckTales, and I know they have a few other shows in the works, but I feel like besides Star, they don't really have that Gravity Falls. A lot of people are hyping up DuckTales to be the next Gravity Falls for the network besides Star. But I feel like with Kingdom Hearts, since it's action and like it already has an established story, there's just a lot more you could do with it.
Definitely.
And I feel like more people would tune to Disney XD for something like Kingdom Hearts than as opposed to like Star or Mom Murphy's Law because it's another established property. And like when they had Gravity Falls, the main problem was that was like their only big show on the network. Yeah. Star wasn't that big yet. So when that went off the air, like everything else just went away. So if they did something like they had DuckTales, because I'm sure DuckTales will bring in a lot of viewers, like maybe Gravity Falls numbers.
Definitely.
And then like when DuckTales is on hiatus, you have some Kingdom Hearts episodes. That's what I would do.
That would be smart. I think networks are taking note of more intricate storytelling shows instead of just episodic, goofy shows. As for cartoons, I think Samurai Jack, as you said in your video, might actually very well help that. Like where there's blood, there will be sharks. So I think the networks are like, ooh, this is actually profitable. There's actually a market for these types of stories. Let's fund it. And I think Kingdom Hearts is a no-brainer because it's already known Disney properties all bunched together. Like people are gonna watch it, and then now we might actually get some Kingdom Hearts merch in like Disneyland and Disney World and stuff like that. Like that'd be really cool. I think it's a no-brainer. I think Disney would make a lot of money from it.
I only see one glaring issue that would stop this series from being produced, and that is DuckTales, because Donald Duck is the main character in DuckTales, and I feel like they may be cautious of having Donald Duck in two separate cartoons with two separate continuities. I'm trying to think, because I know there are some I don't know if Disney specifically has done it before, but I know there are like shows and spinoffs that run like concurrently. Like, I'm trying to think, because I know there was the House of Mouse, but I don't know if any other Mickey Mouse show with Donald Duck ran during that period.
I'm not sure. That's a good question. I feel like there has been, because there's just so many iterations of Donald Duck. But I can't say for sure. That's a good point, but I feel like the shows are also so different that it might not matter.
Yeah.
So I don't know. That's actually a really interesting point. But if the show gets picked up, though, like DuckTales is starting this year. If the show gets greenlit, it probably won't even see the light of day until
next year.
maybe 2019. So I don't know. That's a good point, because that DuckTales probably will be around for a while. So
yeah. And like, I think the best solution is, like I said, since Disney XD does have long hiatuses with their shows, I think the best bet would like have DuckTales run, and then while that's on hiatus, you bust out Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah, that would make sense.
Yeah,
it was opposite seasons,
and that also may help like differentiate like these two separate continuities for the kids at home, because if they do like take everything from the series and adapt it, like Huey, Dewey, and Louie and Scrooge are all in Kingdom Hearts.
Yeah.
So that might also be another issue.
Which they don't need to be, though, really. You could do away with them, but you can't really get rid of Donald. But luckily, to my understanding, DuckTales is mostly about Huey, Dewey, Louie, and Scrooge. And Donald just kind of shows up sometimes, to my knowledge, if I'm not mistaken. So I feel like they could, that might help potentially.
Yeah, I think he's playing a bigger role in the new series, especially because yesterday they released a promo that focused on Donald Duck.
Gotcha.
So, because in the original series he went away into the Navy, and that's why he was like barely there. But it looks like he's actually just this famous adventurer in the new series. So if he may not be in every episode, and I think the smart thing we'll do is like not have him in every episode, but it seems like we are going to see him every now and then.
Gotcha. Yeah, I think just running opposite seasons would probably work for that. Another interesting thing he said was that he would definitely want to bring on Marvel and Star Wars, if possible, and especially since he is working with Henry Gilroy, who works on Star Wars Rebels. I personally would love that. That sounds like an awesome idea to me, personally. They could do like a Rebels crossover and stuff like that. But I know a lot of people are kind of about that. I never really understood the argument, I guess because it's just not Disney proper. But I would love to see a Marvel Star Wars Rebels type thing.
I'd be down for that. The only reason why I'm opposed to having Marvel or Star Wars and Kingdom Hearts 3 in a significant way is just because they weren't in the other games, and this is the end of a trilogy. But if it's a TV show, it's a new continuity, new rules, and like all bets are off, and I would totally be down for that. And actually, I'm not sure if Final Fantasy being a video game series would prevent them from appearing in the cartoon. So Marvel and Star Wars characters may actually be a good stand-in for those characters in case they can't use them.
That's true. Yeah, I feel like they wouldn't be able to get Final Fantasy characters. I feel like that'd be a little off, but I could be totally wrong. And a couple more notes. He said that Maleficent originally for the pilot that he was going to pitch was the main villain. But he would need to be reacquainted with the universe before he decided on a villain. So I think the obvious villain would, of course, be Xehanort.
Yeah.
I wonder if they would like kind of have Xehanort as the main antagonist the whole time, or if they would still do the Ansem thing and this Xemnas thing and all that.
I think the best thing to do, it's just really confusing because we don't know if he's going to do a complete new story or just adapt the games with a twist on it.
Yeah,
like that part's still really unclear. But if he's adapting the games, then I think the best thing to do is have it set up so it seems like Maleficent is like the main villain, and then slowly like introduce the concept of like Xehanort, and actually like introduce Master Xehanort as a character a little bit earlier, like maybe like during the Kingdom Hearts season, kind of like how Star Wars Force of Evil introduced Eclipsa, and like she's clearly gonna end up playing a role. Or kind of like how Gravity Falls had Gideon as the main villain, but then like Bill Cipher took over. So something like that. But if it's an entirely new story, then I would suggest they probably should introduce Xehanort, or at least the concept of him in season 1, and have someone else play the villain.
Definitely.
Until like he's fully established. But at the same time, I would actually kind of prefer if they did it like you have multiple villains, like you have Xehanort and Rotation 13 on one end, but you also have Maleficent and like bring back the like her little league she had in the first game.
Yeah.
But actually have them be like consistent antagonists. And what they could actually do is switch up like the roster every new season. Like season 1, you have Maleficent, and then like she has Jafar and Ursula. But then like the next season, she may have like Olaf or something. Not Olaf.
Olaf.
I don't know why I said
Who's
Olaf.
Olaf?
From Frozen.
Oh.
Olaf.
Oh,
Yeah, I
Olaf.
think it's Olaf. Yeah. Why I say
Olaf
I'm
isn't Olaf's the snowman.
Yeah. I was thinking of the antagonist from Frozen.
Olaf is the true villain.
Isn't it Hans? Yeah, Hans.
Yeah, Hans.
Yeah. So like I said, like if they did something like that, then I would be down for that.
Yeah, that would make sense. But I feel like Xehanort is just such a great villain. You would need to have Xehanort in some capacity. Like Maleficent works, but like she's just so villain. She's like too villainy. You know what I mean? It's like I'm evil. Whereas Xehanort is like really interesting and extremely cunning, and he has his stuff together. He's like Toffee, but like even more prepared somehow. But yeah,
and I feel like with sorry to cut you off. I feel like with Kingdom Hearts, they would probably want to go for a Saturday morning cartoon kind of feel.
Yeah, definitely.
And something iconic about Saturday morning cartoons is like the large row gallery. So that's why I think they should have just like both Xehanort and then like Maleficent, her like little league, just so we can have multiple villains and keep it fresh. Yeah. And like it'll never feel like, oh, this many seasons in, they're still fighting Xehanort, because it's like, oh, well, they only fought Xehanort this many seasons in season 1.
Right. Yeah,
so
that would be perfect.
Idea.
Yeah, then you have Organization 13, and there's a lot you could do.
Yeah.
But I have a ton of other ideas that I would love to see in the show, but this video is running super long, so we should probably do part 2 now, which you could find on the Roundtable.
Yeah.
So thanks so much for joining, and click the link in the thing and watch the second part. And we'll see you next video. Bye, guys.
Bye.